Ascot Park, Gardena, California. 31 riders getting ready to take off Tourist Trophy Championship, and Frank Gifford working along with Evel Knievel, and Evel is a frightening sound. What does it feel like to be in the middle of that pack?
Butterflies, Frank, and they're ready to go, and they're all sitting there saying, when's that flagman going to give us that signal? And it looks like he's about ready right now.
And they're off. They'll be diving for that first turn. Out there quickly, Hocking, Hansen, Boston. They're on their first throw, and that's how they're running at the moment. Jockeying around. And Hansen has the lead at the moment. And here comes Hocking on the inside.
Negotiate these turns, Frank. He's a great rider.
23 years old, over the first jump.
You see him as they go into these turns, Frank. The right-hand turn, the left-hand turn. Put their foot down on both sides. They're not wearing steel shoes in this race, any of them. Maybe some of them are for the big left-hand turns, but they're just trying to negotiate and work those motorcycles both to the left and to the right and over the jump as they go through this real fast track. It looks real slick out there today.
And down that straightaway, they'll hit a speed over 100 miles an hour. 13 is Rick Hocking. He's in first place. 23 is Dave Hansen in second place. In third place, Paul Bostrom, number 46. And that's how they go into that second lap. Hocking out in front.
Hocking's doing a beautiful job. He's riding a Yamaha today. And Dave Hansen in second place is on a Triumph. Third place, I think we have a Harley Davidson or another Yamaha.
Oh, and a bike went down.
That's Mark Lawwell. Our ABC cameras will get on him in a real hurry down there. He's getting the bike back up.
There's Lawwell, and
down.
There he is.
There's the crew. They're as fast as he is. And away he goes, and he's in last place. We'll have to see during the race what he does to pick up time.
Okay, though, he's one of the favorites in this race, but right now it's a youngster out in front, the leader on the AMA Grand National Circuit. That's Rick Hocking. One down in Houston just prior to this race. Started out to be a rodeo rider, Evel.
Frank, he was a good rodeo rider. Right now he's hurtling that Yamaha into that big corner at about 105 miles an hour, 110 miles an hour, doing a beautiful job. I think you can see as they come down the straightaway, when we follow him through the turn, Frank, watching him very closely after he makes his right-hander and then the left, you watch how they tuck in and take a hand off of the handlebar. And they get down as low as they can so they get up as much top speed as they possibly can coming down the straight stretch.
All right, let's follow him through that turn, and we'll see what you mean. He is looking back over his shoulder as if Hansen was making a move, and now he pulls away from Hansen again.
Watch them tuck in as they come down. See them duck down, and they only got one hand on that handlebar now, and then they raise up and pull it off and slide into the big turn.
What's the toughest part of this course, Evel?
Well, I would say having to negotiate the big turn, gearing down. Frank, when they come into this big turn, if they should miss a gear, they go into the fence. I think that's probably the toughest part. As far as the right-hand turns, they're negotiating from a slower speed. This jump is tough, though. He has to shift gears right here before he goes off, and this is where they get into trouble if they miss a gear or the machine goes into a neutral and they get passed.
All right, it's still Rick Hocking, number 13, out in front. Dave Hansen is right behind him, number 23. Paul Bostrom is running in third. That's how they took that first lap. Hocking, Hansen, and Bostrom. And we'll be returning to Ascot Park in Gardena, California in just a moment. Back in Gardena, California, Rick Hocking, a 23-year-old youngster from Fremont, California, has the lead over Dave Hansen and Paul Bostrom, and Evel running awfully well.
Frank, the track is real slick, but he looks like he's going just as fast as he was when we started this race. He's kind of taxing himself because he doesn't want that machine to break on him. I noticed that he's clutching it very carefully. He's not having any problem with tire traction. Chains all right. The machine seems to be running super as far as the spark plugs go, so he's doing a great job out there riding that thing.
Rick is originally from Carson City, Nevada. He used to ride in the rodeos, and before today's race, we asked him why he gave it up.
Mostly it changed my mind as I had some family problems, and I used to live in the mountains where I used to have my horses, and just family problems created an ordeal, and I had to move down to the Bay Area, and couldn't bring my horses or anything with me, so I just had to find myself a new sport, and it just happened to be motorcycles.
You know, it's kind of interesting you didn't get to the Nationals in rodeo at Madison Square Garden, but you got there riding a bike.
Yeah, I sure did. I've been to Madison twice, and The first time things didn't work out real good for me. I don't know. I got something like a fourth there, and the last time there, I led it for 19 laps out of 20 and got passed on the last lap by Kenny, and sort of upset me a little bit. But had a good time at Madison anyhow.
Nothing seems to be upsetting Rick Hocking here today, and he's beginning to move into traffic. He's not being challenged for the lead. He's starting to lap some of the slower bikes. And Abel, you've had a chance to watch this youngster. What does he do right?
Well, I think his coordination is super, Frank. He must be in great physical shape. He seems to be having fun with the motorcycle, where a lot of the other fellows are trying to work him through the turns.
It is a grueling sort of a pounding type of activity. Abel, where does the pain come in? From just the tenseness of the muscles?
Well, you get a lot of cramps in your hands in this kind of a race, but if you're in good shape and you've done a lot of riding every day, as this guy seems to have done, it makes it a little easier for you to ride this motorcycle. He's working it through there very well, Frank, and having no problems gassing it through the turns.
Rick Hocking has the lead. Dave Hansen still in second place. Bostrom is in third. We'll be returning to Ascot Park, Gardena, California, but right now, let's join Bill Fleming at Aintree for the Grand National Steeplechase. Back at Ascot Park in Gardena, California, Frank Gifford along with Evil Knievel. We've had a wild afternoon. We've watched a youngster, Rick Hocking, lead this field from the very start of this race. Rick Hocking, number 13, running in second place, well back is Dave Hansen, number 23. Paul Bostrom was up there for a while, but he's dropped out of the race. Mike Haney, the 38-year-old veteran, is in third place. And here he comes, Rick Hocking, running very well. He's had no problems at all thus far, Evil.
He's doing a great job, Frank. This GT track is giving him no problems at all.
It's in a little traffic there, and this is what he's been doing all afternoon. He just kind of bulls his way through everything.
Watch him go over this jump, Frank, and around these corners. He's passing these fellas both on the inside and on the outside. It seems to just be as leisure as he can be and relaxed riding this racetrack.
Very popular brand of motorcycle racing. Where did it originate, Evil?
It originated in England, I think, and then, of course, the greatest GT race they ever had was the Isle of Man, and it was a fantastic race. They have race GT races on asphalt as well as dirt, of course. This track here at Ascot is on the dirt.
And running back in the pack, but she's still in the race. You probably want to know that, is the only woman in the race, Diane Cox, the 18-year-old youngster from Salem, Oregon. But Rick Hocking is just making a shambles of the field.
They're pulling over, Frank, and letting him go by at his will. And I noticed a minute ago, straight away, he took his hand off the handlebar and waved at somebody as he went by. That's what you call controlled riding.
Rick Hocking, Dave Hansen in second place, Mike Haney in third. Now about maybe just could he get a little bit of trouble, even if he got a little too relaxed.
I've always said that when you think that you're better than the motorcycle or you take too much confidence, that's when it'll get the best of you. I think if he got too relaxed, he could get into trouble, but it doesn't look like he's in that kind of shape right now.
Rick Hocking continuing to lead. Dave Hansen, number 23, is in second place. Mike Haney is running in third place.
Frank, right now, I think he's really doing all he can to just kind of make that motorcycle work for him and not tax him too hard and make sure he gets through this race because we're drawing very close to the end.
And we'll be back with the finish of today's race in just a moment. Frank Gifford along with Evil Knievel, and we've been watching Rick Hocking dominate the field here today. Tourist Trophy Motorcycle Championship, and he has just completely run away with it, Evil.
He sure has, Frank. He's taken that unlucky number 13 and changed it into a lucky number 13, and I see that the track is looking a little darker, a little blacker down the chute now, and I think that most of the machines are leaving a lot of rubber on the ground as the day goes on, the hot sun, but the traction should be getting a little better.
Actually, the only problem Rick has had has been with his bike, and he has had a little brake problem, and the crew has been watching him rather anxiously. We've watched him look down 2 or 3 times himself, check the brake out, but he has not come into the pits at all. So everything must be running all right, but even it could be a potentially dangerous situation, particularly coming out of the straightaway.
Well, when you go down the straightaway, this is where you put the brakes on going into this corner right here. And I think that what has happened to Rick is with the hot weather and the pressure on the brakes in a long 100-lap race like this, that his brake drum is wearing down and is getting metal-to-metal contact instead of the disc brake itself working properly as it should. So he seems to have made the decision and made the judgment that he's going to go head on with it. I think he's probably going through the gears more, slowing the machine down rather than using the brakes themselves.
That he can do rather easily because he's lapped everyone in this field, almost everyone twice. You know, he's a not a cocky kid. He's a very confident youngster, and before the race, when I talked with him, well, he was almost a prophet.
Where's the toughest part of it, Rick? The jump, the hairpin turn, what?
I don't think there's going to be any tough part for me today. I feel really good. I feel confident that I can win it, and so I'm just going to try to do that.
Rick Hocking from Fremont, California now, came out of Carson City, Nevada. He told you before he wanted to be a rodeo rider. That did not work out, but he certainly has worked out as a motorcycle champion.
I bet he's glad that he traded the rodeo circuit for a motorcycle racing circuit right now, Frank. You get on an iron horse and it goes a little faster. It hurts a little more when you fall off, but it doesn't eat any hay during the winter time, and the riches and the rewards for winning a big race are just as good.
Well, you can speak well about falling off one occasion. We've picked you up a few times in the past. But Eagle's been great working with you, and I know you enjoy youngsters coming along like Rick Hocking, and he's had an incredible day. He's lapped almost everyone in the field, almost a full lap ahead of second place Dave Hansen. Mike Haney is running third. There's the white flag. He's in the final lap, and he takes a quick flip down at that brake, and he'll be careful through this final lap.
He probably will, but I think he's one of the showiest riders I've ever seen. He's a very confident young guy, and he knows that he has got the ability to get this machine wherever he wants it, whenever he wants it. You know, Frank, he kind of reminds me of Eddie Mulder, who was one of the greatest TT riders here at Ascot Speedway. The showmanship that Eddie had, along with a fellow named Skip Van Leeuwen, who were two of the greatest TT riders of all time.
Here he comes in that final half-mile turn, and he pops a wheelie. He is a little bit of a showman, too. At 23 years old, he will be the winner. Dave Hansen will finish in second place. He's well back. And the veteran Mike Haney, at 38 years old, on a comeback, finishes in third place.